Hi, Eric Gibaud, ericgibaud.com, and today I'm going to tell you my 7 tips, photography tips for June 2023. Small message for this guy the other day who commented that I was recording in my RV, my camping car as we call it in French, okay, and criticizing and telling the bed was not properly made. Yeah, this is my bed there, and you're invited whenever you want to make my bed as you like, okay, so it looks perfect on my video. So let's start. So first tip. Well, when you make a picture, you need to start thinking bit by bit, okay? I know it's hard because very often you go really fast making pictures, but when you have time, try to, I would say, split your picture in several parts and think and decide and work on it. The theme, is it interesting? Is it something, topic you're making the picture? Is it interesting or not? Well, sometimes it's not worth making the picture. But still, maybe you could make it anyway and work on the rest of the parts I'm going to say. The framing, is it good? Because framing, you should work on it. Is it fine? Okay. Composition, because framing may be fine, but composition not good because composition is within the framing, okay? Is it okay? The exposure, is it good? Is it well exposed or not? Overexposed, underexposed, all this. The direction of light, is it coming sideways, back, front, up, down, all this. Look at this, check everything. If it's a color photography, are the colors nice? Do they match? Do they work well together? Is it okay? If it's a black and white photography and you're working in raw file, you will sit in color, but will it work in black and white? If you have green and red, probably it's the same gray in post-production. When you move on to black and white, think about it, is it fine? And when everything is fine, then you click, not before. So it's really hard, obviously, to think all of this. Sometimes you don't have time for that, but when you have time, if you can think about everything I've just said, then bit by bit you will go faster and faster and faster. And later, in really urgent situation, you need to click, you need to trigger the camera, then it will be fine because your brain is trained to think all of this really fast, okay? So think of your picture bit by bit, okay? Advice number 2, don't shoot like mad. Some people, they just go everything, everywhere, anything, doesn't matter. They just click and click and click and click and the camera is triggering full time. This is nonsense. Most of these pictures are worthless, they're no good, they're bad, they're horrible very often, okay? Slow down. Click when necessary. Pick the picture you're going to make. You don't need to make 10 pictures of the same thing. Make the right picture. Decide what is interesting around you, what is not interesting, and make picture. It will make you trigger less and make a lot more better or good pictures. Why? Because you will think first, value, evaluate the situation, value if it's worth making the picture or not, and work better on your picture. Don't trigger like mad. Trigger less and think more. That really helps better your picture. Advice number 3. I know you're not going to listen to me and you're not going to slow down. You will keep triggering like mad. So, as you're going to trigger 10 pictures of the same stone, at least make different versions. Vertical, horizontal, diagonal, framing to the right, to the left, composing a bit different version of the same thing, okay? At least you don't go home with 10 pictures exactly the same. People who just shoot like mad is because they are not confident, they're not self-confident. They think they make the same picture and again and will get it right. Only fool repeat the same thing expecting a different result. If you make the same thing, you get the same result. So as you're going to make several pictures anyway, because you don't listen to me, make different versions. So when you go home, you will compare different exposure, different framing, different things, and you will have 10 pictures of the same thing, but different way of having a look at it, different way of presenting the subject, okay? So that's important. When I say different version, I don't speak about Photoshop, filter, lottery. Some people, they say, oh, sepia, black and white, bleach, I don't know what, this, teal, orange, and teal, and I don't know what. No, I don't speak about this. I speak about different version within the camera. When you make your picture, this is when you make several decisions, different version, not in post-production playing with presets and filters, okay? Advice number 4, sometimes free is very expensive in money or time. Many people, they think that there are many ways of getting tuition for free. And it's true. When you watch this video right now, I'll give you some tips and they are free, okay? But sometimes it takes a lot of time to listen to free things and meet people teach you things for free. And it's not always good. Very often, I don't know where you are, in which country you are, okay? But in some countries, it's really common to have like photographer meeting. Some people really help. They really help you better your techniques, advise you, all this. Others, they show you a nice picture they've just made. You say, oh, I love it. How did you make this? Well, when you will have spent 10 years making a picture like I did, you will know how to do it. This guy, I just go there to show off. They don't help you. They don't want you to better. They don't want to help you at all, okay? So you're wasting your time with these people, okay? Sometimes it's nice to meet people just to have a coffee and speak about photography. But when you meet people because you want to learn, make sure these people are willing to help you. Otherwise, very often it's worth paying tuition, paying a workshop, an online video, an online tuition, or present a workshop. You go and a one-to-one or a meeting, or doesn't matter, but sometimes it's worth paying. So it's important. There are some workshops that are worth paying and others that are not. They're just, well, bullshit, okay? Try to get informed and you will decide when it's worth paying and when it's not. But very often you will learn a lot more in a workshop you pay for a day or 2 days, a weekend, whatever, than maybe 10 years of meeting. It all depends if you are in a rush and you want to learn quickly or not. Maybe you say, yeah, it takes me 10 years to learn for free, but that's fine, I don't mind. And other people say, well, it's worth paying. When I say paying, I include books. It's worth maybe buying a good books and have something that is good to read, okay? It's not just a present or person or whatever, okay? But evaluate if it's worth paying for you, okay? Same thing with model. Some people, they want to make picture of models, very often girls more than guys, okay? Female model, I don't speak about the photographer, that it could be any gender, okay? But really, if you're not sure how to expose, how to compose, how to frame, how to manage light, how to manage a flash, whatever, if on top of that, you need to explain to the model how to pose, control what she's doing, what he's doing, the posing, all this, this is going to be a disaster. So very often it's worth paying a model that has some experience or a lot of experience that will know how to pose, so at least you don't have to think about this. You concentrate on making the picture, and that person will help you a lot, because if she has experience or he has experience, he will know that works better or not, or will also advise you. If he sees where you place a flash, will say, you know that when you place it there, it's not that nice, better there. May help you. So sometimes it's really worth paying a model, as long it's not paying for paying someone with experience, so you don't have to be worried about the posing side, and you concentrate on making the picture, on tuning your camera, exposing, framing, all this. When you have more experience, then you can work with a model that has no experience, because you know how to direct that person, tell what to do, what not to do, all this, okay? So sometimes it's really worth paying, okay? Advice number 5. Some people, they normally check the budget they have for photography and they spend it in camera body, lenses, flash, few things, okay? Then they check and they want to go and make picture and they don't have any money left for that. They don't have money for train, for plane ticket, or they wanted to go to make noise landscape somewhere, and yeah, but now they don't have budget to get on a plane to go and make these pictures. Sometimes you should not just think about gear, but also evaluate the whole thing. So how much money do you also need to go and make this picture? Unless you make picture at home, but maybe you should evaluate how much is it for plane ticket, for train ticket, for petrol money, to go somewhere you would love to make picture. And that was the idea. You started photography, you bought your gear for that, and you don't have money anymore for that. So sometimes it's better to have a bit less gear, a bit cheaper gear, and still have budget to enjoy what you've bought. Otherwise, that's great, but it's like buying a car and don't have money for petrol. That's nonsense. You have the car that is parked and that's it. You can say, I have a car, I can't drive it, I don't have money for the petrol, okay? Or you tell your family, well, this year we go on vacation like 5 kilometers away because I don't have any money for that. I spend the money for the gear, okay? They will not be very happy, okay? So think about that. Point number 6, advice number 6. Well, there's a guy who will recognize himself. He's contracted me several times to have online tuition. And then he also came to Tenerife in the Canary Islands to meet me. By the way, I do online tuition, video conference tuition. If you're interested, you can contact me with my email. It's in the description. And about a month and a half, 2 months ago, he said, Eric, I'm going to New York City for a couple of days, 3 days, I was not sure. I don't know what lens to bring with me. I speak about prime lenses, okay? But what I'm going to tell could be done with zoom lenses anyway, okay? And what should I get with me? Do you know New York City? No, I've never been there. Okay, well, that's several options. Get a wide angle and you try to do with everything and fit building in there, all that. Or you want to enjoy the city but also learn photography. Say, well, both, okay. Well, get your lenses. You had 4 lenses, I think. And leave them in the hotel. And first morning, you take just 1 lens with you. Afternoon, take another lens with you and leave the other 3 at home. Following day, same thing. Following day, same thing. This way, you always have only 1 lens at a time. You have to be creative. You have to find a solution for the limit what you have with you is, okay? If you have a zoom lens, you could do the same thing, blocking the zoom. So wide angle, halfway, and tele, and you block it, and that's it. And you lock it with a gaffer tape if you want, or nothing, okay? But you don't touch it. So this way, you have to be creative. You have to use your imagination. And then you will realize what is the best lens for what you want to do. And also you will start to make different pictures, more creative, according to the gear you have with you. This is a great exercise. He loved it. He came with really different pictures according to the lens he had, really different. He had a lot of fun. He was really creative, and he came back knowing better his gear. For that kind of trip, I would bring only this lens next time, only that one. Or if you have something to do, I know which lens is really the best for that. He knows better his gear. And he's being more creative. So you don't have to go to New York City to do that. You can do that at home. But one day you go out just with 1 lens, okay, prime lens. If you have a zoom lens, you just lock it on 1 focal length. You don't touch it. And you practice with this. If you see that's no good, well, you still have to make a picture. Find a picture that is good with the gear you have, okay? You will get a lot more creative. Advice number 7. The most expensive gear is the one you don't use. If you have a camera you're not using because you have several cameras, or you have a lens you never use, it's on a shelf and it's losing value, except if it's some film cameras or some Leica cameras normally, or Fujifilm X100V that you cannot find anymore, so it's more expensive second-hand than new, okay? Otherwise, it's losing value, okay? So this is a nonsense to have something you don't use. This fantastic lens you were dreaming of, you bought it and then you realize you don't use it that much, and at the end you've never used it in the past 2 years. Sell it. Use the money for something else. Buying a gear that is more optimized for what you need. Spend it to go to a restaurant with your loved one, or get a plane ticket, a train ticket, travel, whatever. But this money is stuck on a shelf and is losing value. So sometimes you need to optimize your gear, see what you really need and what you don't use at all. And what you don't use, probably sell it and use the money for something else, okay? That's just my opinion. You may think you don't need to sell anything because it doesn't matter if it loses value, it's your right, okay? But that's my opinion, okay? So these were my 7 tips for June 2023. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Small button down here, a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of my gear on Amazon, links of everything I reviewed by K&F Concept, Sandmarc and Flashes by Westcott. Also more affiliated links and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.